Hello everyone and welcome to Tiresome. My name's Mike and today we're going to be installing this. I have two door speakers in the front of the Scimitar. They're the original ones. They are horrible. They're cardboard cone speakers. They're the original ones, I believe, and they are just so destroyed, it's not funny. I don't know, that was years ago last time I heard them. We're going to roll with them for today. The back speakers are speakers that I bought years ago. Those are also in really bad condition, but they're Vibe speakers. I really like Vibe for car audio stuff, and I hope to upgrade both sets of speakers in the future. But for right now, we kind of just got to work with what we got, so those back speakers are going to be going right in. And let's get talking about this here head unit. Let's do a little bit of an unboxing, shall we? So first of all, we got the bag there of lovely essentials and things like that, and in that is a controller. Why do they always include controls with these Chinese head units? I think it's something to do with like backseat drivers and being able to have remote controls, or maybe there's a law that says you can use a remote control but you can't fiddle with things on the dashboard. I don't know. Either way, they all come with them, and a couple of sort of wiring harnesses as well. And then that's literally it. We get to the meat and potatoes, which is the head unit itself in a lovely little plastic bag. And inside that bag is the head unit. As you can see, I got one that's more like a classic sort of finish, shall we say, so it doesn't look too silly when it's screwed into the Scimitar. That being said, I can't believe that this stereo cost me £15. It was actually £13, £2 delivery on eBay. If you just type in classic car stereo, these pretty much pop up everywhere. I haven't heard bad things about them, but I mean, I also haven't heard good things about them. I think they're adequate and you kind of get what you pay for, but for 13 quid I should assume it's horrendous. Either way, it should get some sounds going in the Scimitar. Supposedly it has Bluetooth connectivity, and I'm very much looking forward to that and listening to some podcasts and stuff while I drive. So let's get that bad boy installed. That is the hole where the speaker goes, but unfortunately the wire comes out from underneath this bit of side and doesn't come out of that hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fishing with this and put it down the bottom, knot them together, pull it back through with the speaker cable, and hopefully we can then attach the speakers. Let's see if it works. Cross your fingers, everyone. Oh yes, that's it. Speaker cable has been achieved. Now we need to attach the speaker. Cool. Look, in case you didn't think I was doing this on a budget, look at those cables. My God, I've seen some better days for sure. That is pretty tough. That being said, the speaker's actually in pretty good condition, apart from, you know, the little rip in the actual cone, but don't worry about that. Okay, so we got the speaker and we've got the speaker hole up here. So now we need to put the two together, and unfortunately this is where the Reliant fan club needs to look away, because I don't really have any proper method of installing speakers too big, and I can't be bothered to take this piece out to cut it to size. So here we go. There we go. Perfectly mounted speaker. Nice. That is the other side done. Here's our little bag of treats. I can't wait to see how good the quality is there. And of course, the actual head unit itself. I do apologise if you can hear any sort of building works or anything like that going on. I promise it's not me rumbling, it's them outside. Here is the remote. Cool. That is actually a really fat remote. Look at that. That is such a fat remote control. What the hell? Look at that. We got two wiring harnesses. I assume one's for speakers and one's for, you know, the actual power to the unit. I've got no idea at all. I assume the manual will tell us, but as the listing said that on the back that the aerial input was actually one of the speaker inputs or something, I've got very little hope of them being any help at all in this situation, but we'll see. Let's have a look at this, shall we? So there are like marks either side where I guess I'm supposed to push that plastic through. Can I not remove that bezel? I would rather remove the bezel, I think. Oh, I can see where I'm supposed to take them off though. So I can just kind of do it manually, I guess, from the side, like so. Prying these little security pins. I wouldn't want anyone stealing my £15 worth of head unit now, would we? This is also the lightest thing I've ever felt. I think it's actually about the same weight as my phone. It's not far off. It's not far off. Before we go any further with this particular piece of kit, now we've got the cage off, let's pop that to the side and have a look at what my wiring for my older radio was and see if any of that's usable or, you know, I don't know. I've got no idea. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to take this out, but I think I am going to have to take it out. I think there's only one screw holding it in, to be fair. Cool. Right, so those two should float around of their own accord now. Wow, this is quite the setup, isn't it? What's going on? That's an earth strap, is it? Yeah, that's fine. So this is the only thing really we need to pay attention to here. Let's have a little look at that manual. Okay everyone, so it has been about an hour and I've stripped off all the cables from those two wiring looms and I put them on. Luckily, I must say, the colouring on the speaker harness was exactly the same. Don't look at this. This is not how I'm connecting it to an earth, just on a earth strap taped, but hopefully it'll work. The one I didn't connect was a blue here, which is for the aerial, which I'm not going to use right now anyway. The aerial fitted to the car currently is an electric aerial that, you know, goes up. The mechanism is broken. It did work when I got the car, surprisingly, but it's broken now, and I don't really care for it anyway, to be honest. So, I might get a replacement in future, just so I got the option, but for right now, I'm just going to leave that off. And there is the other harness here, which, yeah, it's got some power going to it. Memory is the yellow wire here, power, and then ground, as aforementioned, going to this strap there. So, I think we are ready to screw this back. That's how confident I am, everyone. I'm screwing this back in before I've even tried it. Stupid, I know. I'm so bad at not only wiring but screwing the screw in. Lovely. Cut to this being put together. This is back in as well as it was before. I do have the rest of the hardware for it, but I just haven't been in the situation where I've kind of wanted to permanently attach it yet. Here is the head unit. I haven't put in the bracket yet to retain it because I just want to see if it works first, and also how well it works, we shall see. Now then, these sockets on the back, you can kind of tell that one's in the middle like that and one's down the bottom, so it's actually quite foolproof. Let's start with the top one, which is speakers, and then go on to the bottom one, which is the power. Oh, well, there we go. We've instantly got a clock. Let's see if we can get anything else. It didn't make any noises at all, and it still isn't. Oh, okay. Ah, well, we've got some static. Oh, that would be bass, maybe. Bass, 500. So you press that. Yeah, oh, sorry, it's not 500, it's 0. So that's bass, treble. Okay, so that's the EQ. That's, oh no, that's Bluetooth now. Pair new device. Car BT, I assume that's me. Let's just pair that. When you go into your Bluetooth setting, at least on Android, it comes up with a list. You can click pair new device there, and it didn't work. But what I did do was actually go down to connection preferences, Bluetooth, then pair new device there, and it seems to say Bluetooth on now, and my phone is saying car Bluetooth. Not that you can, oh yeah, there you go, kind of see that. So now it should be fine. Hi Well, I mean, that works technically, but it's not working at all, if that makes sense. Let me investigate. And investigate I did, everyone. For 5 months, in fact. But don't worry, I'll get this video finished now. So, there are 3 things to mention. 1, the stereo did actually work, and has been working for technically 5 months, but I only really used it for 1. The speakers tend to drop in and out spontaneously, you know, depending on what happens. If you open a door, then that can change things to that particular door speaker. The sound quality going to all the speakers was pretty poor. I don't know what the quality of the door speakers are. I assume terrible. Both the back speakers should be good though, but weren't. They were intermittent and such like that. The wires are actually routed down by my feet in the driver's seat, in the footwell there. And that meant that they kind of get in the way, get tangled, especially when you haven't got carpet in. But we're going to sort that. I've got a load of new cable. So what we're going to do is rewire all the speakers. It's going to be great, and hopefully that'll stop these issues. The only thing with the actual head unit, I would say, if you are actually looking at buying this one, is that when you connect via Bluetooth, you have to manually go on your phone and tell it to connect each time. Once you've paired it, then it's not so much of an arduous task, but you still have to manually go onto your phone and click it. It won't just connect to your phone when you get in the car, something that some people may expect from a head unit. But this one's 13 quid or something, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so step 1, remove your very shoddily installed speakers there, and then take the wires off. Instead of routing them down that side of the seat though, and then down through the side of the door, and then through the footwell, I'm actually just going to run them straight down the middle on top of the gearbox tunnel. I think that'll work much better in the long run, especially once it's carpeted, of course. Let's have a look and see how well that works. Look at that, that is all the wire just to connect the 2 rear speakers, just the 2 rear ones, and it is the scraggliest, most old wire ever. You can see that just from this image. You can also see some red tape kicking around in there. That's where it had joins halfway through. You can see old crimp connections. It's just generally horrible, and I'm glad that I got some relatively good quality cable to go back on. We'll see how that works out, shall we? See, it's funny because at first glance you wouldn't have thought that this was too much cable, but it's really tightly packed in there, and as you can see it's actually too wide. It's also from a company called Cannibal, which I'm sure most of you have heard of before, but they do really good quality stuff for not really that much of money, which is always good, and you can see how much thicker that is than the old stuff. Something terrible has happened. As you can see, the little one, so there's like 2 of those spade connectors, these ones here, there should be 2 of those, one on the other side there as well, and it's supposed to be slightly smaller to denote positive and negative. And as you can see, both of them have snapped off in the 5 months it's taken me to not do this video, so I'm gonna probably just have to solder one half of the cable, the negative side of the cable, to that. So the plot thickens. Okay, so first of all, this is definitely the worst invention ever. Soldering iron, a gas-powered one. Just can't get the bloody thing to work. It never has. It's always shit. Anyway, without that working, I thought what I would do is try and just braze some solder on there to melt the cable using this, and then that proceeded to sort of start squirting fuel everywhere. So, I thought, that's it. I'm not using anything with fire. I will just crimp it. So what I'm going to do is cut this cable off underneath here, put a spade connector on it, and then just hook it up to the cable using the other female side. And just go with that, I guess. And there it is. Look at this little spade connector hanging off there. That should, if I press play on my phone, which is connected to the radio, you can see all the crap in it. Cool. The driver's side one does still work. The speaker works. It looks like it's well, it's very old, but you can also see that this up here is one of the original screws, and that this doesn't quite match up with that hole. That doesn't go in there, so this is definitely aftermarket, I'd say. Either that or Reliant really ran out of speakers and just had to jam whatever they could in, but I can't see them doing that. These screws are not moving for shit. They're going to have to just be drilled out and maybe new riv nuts put in place or something for those. Basically what I'm saying is I'm not going to touch that. This one, as you can see, has a grill on it. You can tell by the look of that cardboard inside, it's probably the same speaker. So it might be that the outer screw holes are for the grill and the inner screw holes are to hold the actual speaker in or whatever, I don't know. Either way, those screws are also not functioning correctly. Oh God. I'm out of time and I just wanted to get this video sort of buttoned up. I was hoping the doors wouldn't put up such a fight, to be honest, but it's good that the driver's side one works. It's bad that the passenger side one doesn't. Maybe in future we can do a proper stereo upgrade installation and we can replace these two front speakers, maybe get some new two for the rear as well that I'm absolutely destroyed. And maybe we'll have a sounding good. But I tell you what, my jerry rigging and using high quality cable has still elevated this experience from what you saw in that last test, shall we say. Here it is! Woo! It sounds good, man. That's all I can play of Metallica for Whom the Bell Tolls, unfortunately. Guys, thanks for joining. I'm sorry that it wasn't the whole resurrection that we had hoped, but it's still a darn sight better. And for 13 quid, it gives me some tunes in the car. I can even make calls and listen to podcasts. The head unit is absolutely fine. It's definitely the best part of this current stereo install. Hopefully it lasts as long. I mean, to be fair, this car is not waterproof and it has still lasted the last 5 months, even with rain and all that sort of stuff. So this worst case scenario for this head unit, but it's putting up a fight, man. So I'm happy with it so far and I don't see any signs of replacing it anytime soon. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.